It makes it easier, easier to bear. Yeah. You won't regret it, no, no. Some girls, they don't forget it. Love.
Yeah, what can I say about Charlemagne that hasn't been said about Steve Urkel? Because Steve Urkel was a shining star in an otherwise gloomy, dark, boring era. Okay, so you got Charles the Great, Charlemagne, and he comes from pretty good stock. He comes from this guy named Pepin the Short, may or may not have been short, we don't really know. Charlemagne was not, though. Charles the Great, 6'3.5", my friends, which was like, Abe Lincoln status back then. No, I'll take that back. It was like Makimbe Mutombo, if that's how you say his name. It was like Shaquille O'Neal of the Middle Ages in stature and also in presence, although not as stupid as Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of times he gets touted as being kind of a big, like, clumsy guy. Charlemagne, not so. Big proponent of the liberal arts. He's a dude who, was fluent in Latin, a student of Greek, also enjoyed his astronomy. A lot of I think it's something like 80% of the works that we have today from antiquity in Greece and Rome are because he had his people working on the books in the monasteries, copying day and night to make sure and ensure that we had those things available to us. Thank you, Charlemagne. Anyway, where was I? Back to my main point. Coming from good stock, Pepin the Short was his granddad. His dad was this dude called Charles the Hammer. Or maybe I'm flipping him anyway. No, Charles the Hammer, Pepin the Short, then Charlemagne. Charlemagne steps onto the scene, already has the Franks, already king of the Franks, but, there's this problem in the Papal States. The Pope needs help down in Italy because he's got these, kind of barbarian people called the Lombards that are always, coming into Rome, wrecking things up, and that can't be happening. So Charlemagne steps up to the plate and he says, look, not only am I king of the Franks, but technically I'm supposed to be king of the Lombards. That's my title, I just don't really have a reign on them right now. I'll come down, I'll wreak some havoc, you let me have that title, remember that I did you this favor, and then maybe on the sly you can hit me back one day. Well, that happens. So he's not just king of the Lombards, not just king of the Franks, doesn't just stabilize most of what will become France and the Holy Roman Empire. Well, to talk about the Holy Roman Empire, to talk about Charlemagne and the church and his importance to the church, let's go to a better authority. Oh yeah. No, I remember Charlemagne. I remember Charlemagne not only for his greatness, but for the greatness of his father. His father, of course, Pepin the Short, giving us what would become the Papal States. Good man, that Pepin, but Charlemagne, good man in his own right. Charlemagne, good Christian king, enforced monogamy throughout his empire, which helps considerably to solidify his kingdom, establishing the tradition of legitimate and illegitimate heirs, of which he had many illegitimate heirs, but we won't get into that. Charlemagne, good Christian king. It was 800 AD Christmas Day when I crowned him Holy Roman Emperor because of his many Christian efforts. His efforts to expand Christendom throughout Christendom into the Saxon lands. England has a lot to be thankful for in terms of Charlemagne's contribution. He may have had to slaughter a few thousand of them who would not convert to Christianity from their barbaric pagan Anglo ways. So yeah, what are you looking for in a monarch? Maybe that's the question. You don't want somebody like you don't want a regular Roman emperor of old, somebody like Julius Caesar, who's gonna, kind of take power and never give it up, then you got to give him the axe, and that becomes a whole ordeal. You don't want a Nero that's going to burn Christians at the stake. We're kind of a Christian kingdom, so we don't want that. You don't want a Caligula. Roman emperor just went nutso. Really, you don't want any type of just regular Roman emperor because, Rome fell pretty hard to the barbarians, and we know there's barbarians out there. Who's going to take care of them? The guy who's taking care of them time and time again. Charlemagne, holy Roman emperor, mind you. Declared so by Pope Leo III. I think that's what you want. I think that's what you want in a monarch. I think that's what you want in a ruler. I think you want somebody who's proven before that they can do it. Somebody who really took the Dark Ages, put them in a headlock, and gave them a Renaissance noogie of sorts. Just did that. That's what you want. So, what can we say? What's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about when you go to the polls and you vote and you say, look, I'm a peasant. I want somebody who's got a little bit of Roman imperial swagger combined with the holiness of the church. That's what I want, and that's what you're gonna get.
I invented sweat, popping bottles, putting supermodels in the cab. Proof. I guess I got my swagger back.